before you hesitate to go ahead and comment, please allow me to bring up all of my points about this situation. This is the last video I'm going to make regarding soft white underbelly. I've made one other video, but something came to me the other day and I had to do this. It lit a fire in my heart and I did a lot of research. So for those who really enjoy Mark's content, I understand, but this needs to come to people's attention too. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine somebody that you love, a sister, a mother, a brother, a father, a best friend. Maybe you know somebody who is struggling with addiction and you love them. Now imagine they're addicted, they are lost, they're homeless, and they're at rock bottom. Now imagine someone filming them not once, not twice, but 34 times. 34 times they put a camera in your loved one's face. 34 times they watch them unravel. And 34 times they let the world see them at their weakest. Imagine millions of people watching your loved ones decay. Some people will say that they love them, some people will mock them, and some will call them a junkie. And this man, this stranger behind the camera tells you, I'm just trying to help. Would you believe them? Would you call that help? Or would you call it what it really is? Abuse, exploitation, and dehumanization. If this was somebody doing this to my loved one, there would be a lawsuit. I know exactly what I would do. And as someone who has lost somebody to addiction, this is not okay. Mark has said that he films people because he wants to hold a mirror up to society. So let's turn that mirror around for a second, okay? Mark, you have 2 daughters. Would you ever put them in front of a camera at their lowest, addicted, struggling, homeless, sick, suffering, and spiraling, and call that awareness? Probably not. But you put them on your YouTube video to laugh and giggle and watch Rebecca go ahead and spiral. If it's not okay for your daughters, then why does Rebecca deserve this type of treatment? Why does anybody? If you wouldn't do it to your own child, you shouldn't be doing it to somebody else's. This isn't just about a camera, it's about power. It's about profit. It's that he is a wealthy American man documenting the suffering of an undocumented, homeless trans woman who has no legal power to fight back. Mark has said in the past that he doesn't make a penny from any of this, but that was 4 years ago. Now we know better, Mark. You have, let's say, YouTube ad revenue, which some of his videos do have ads, and that's his prerogative, okay? But with over Rebecca and the 34 videos that he has done, he has over 19 million views from Rebecca alone. Even at the lowest CPM estimate, these videos would make anywhere between $34,000 to $116,000 just from Rebecca. He has paid sponsorships. His recent videos now include sponsored ads, meaning he is actively profiting from these stories. He has a $10 monthly subscription. He runs a paid platform, getting content. He is getting paid for merch. He's getting paid for books. He even includes a $350 signed book featuring the people that he films, most of them at their lowest. So when people say, but Mark helps them, ask yourself, how much has he really helped Rebecca? If she's still addicted, still on the streets, still spiraling, yet he's potentially making 6 figures off of her suffering, who is really helping? Any trauma specialist or addiction expert would tell you giving an addict money equals, without structure, equals enabling. Reinforcing their identity as an addict equals keeping them stuck. Filming someone repeatedly in their worst state equals dehumanization. Mark doesn't seem to understand addiction psychology, and that is the problem. Addicts do not take help until they are ready. Giving them a hotel for a few nights does not just fix the root cause. Calling someone famous, as he has said on one of his videos to Rebecca, for their suffering cements their addiction identity rather than helping them escape it. If Mark's real goal was to help Rebecca, he would have filmed her one time and then let her go. Instead, he has turned her into a reoccurring character in his YouTube series. Mark, please, if you are watching this, let Rebecca go. You want to know what real help looks like? Real help doesn't say, tell me about your suffering while I film you. Real help doesn't say, here's a hotel for a few nights. Now come back and tell me how bad your life is again. Let's re-roll the tape and see how you're spiraling again for millions to see. Real help doesn't turn someone's addiction into a YouTube series. If Mark actually wanted to help Rebecca, he wouldn't have filmed her 34 times. He would have helped her once and then walked away, because real help doesn't require an audience. What happens when someone gets sober? Here's the part no one wants to talk about. If Rebecca gets sober, she won't be the same person. Her mind will be different. Her priorities will be different. Her entire reality will be different. And what happens when she realizes that she's been filmed 34 times in her worst state? What happens when she looks back and sees millions of strangers commenting on her suffering, saying a different array of many different things that I have seen that are beyond cruelty? What happens when she doesn't want to just be Rebecca from Soft White Underbelly anymore? Will Mark take down those videos, or will he keep making money off of them? We already know that people have asked for their videos to be taken down, and from what these people have said, allegedly, he does not take their videos down. Because let's be real, once Rebecca gets sober, she will not want these videos up. And what choice will she have? None, because again, she is an undocumented, homeless, addicted trans woman. She has no legal protections. She has no power to demand these videos to be removed, and Mark knows that. So what happens if Rebecca dies? This is where the story is actually more of heading, isn't it? And when it happens, when the inevitable happens, I guarantee you there will be one final Soft White Underbelly uploading called Remembering Rebecca, a tribute video, a retrospective, a compilation of all the times we watched her decay in front of our eyes. And people will comment, she was such a beautiful soul, and rest in peace, and Mark will still profit off of it, because that is what happens when you turn someone's suffering into a brand. And he has already done that. He's already done a compilation video of enough people to put one video together that are no longer alive. What an addiction expert would most likely say is Mark doesn't understand addiction. He just gets frustrated. He said things like, I don't know why they won't take my help. Maybe because they're addicts, Mark. If you ask an addiction specialist, they'll tell you giving someone a hotel doesn't fix addiction. Filming someone's addiction over and over again will reinforce the cycle. Calling someone famous will keep them trapped. Again, like I can't even begin to say this over and over again. If someone is addicted, they need real support, not a camera in their face. This conversation says it all right here, okay? If you don't believe any of this, listen to what Rebecca herself said. Rebecca said, wait, people love me? Mark said, yeah, you've become famous. Rebecca, which is really weird because that's my biggest dream. It's beyond anything that would ever happen. Mark, yeah, but you just don't know what to do with it. That's the sad part. Rebecca, I just don't know what to do. Mark, well, I've been trying to teach you, but you won't listen. Let that sink in. Rebecca, high, unwell, barely surviving, and Mark tells her she's famous. Not that she needs help, not that she needs to get out of the cycle, not that this fame is toxic. No, he tells her she just doesn't know what to do with it. Like her addiction is a brand, like her pain is a business, like her suffering is content, and it is to him and to many other people. I just have to say this again. Would you want this to be your loved one filmed 34 times in their lowest moment? Would you want millions of people watching, commenting, dehumanizing them? Would you want strangers profiting off of their pain and calling it help? Because if the answer is no, then why the hell is it okay for Rebecca? Why is it okay for anyone? If you wouldn't let that happen to your child, or any loved one, don't let it happen to someone else's. Wake up. This is not awareness. This is not advocacy. This is exploitation. And the only answer left is how many more people need to pass away that has been on his channel before we call this for what it really is. I have a final message to Rebecca. If you see this, Rebecca, if you ever see this, I need you to know something. You are not content. You are not a character. You are not just Rebecca from Soft White Underbelly. You are a human being and you deserve more than this. If you ever get sober, I hope that you know that you don't owe anyone your suffering. I hope that one day you wake up and you realize you were never famous for being loved. You were famous for being watched. And that is not the same thing. Rebecca, I see you not as a story, not as content, but as a human being. And I hope one day you will see yourself in the same way. This is the last video that I ever plan to make on this guy, and definitely on Rebecca. This is a video as a call to Rebecca, to Mark, to please, both of you, step away from one another. This is a toxic relationship and a toxic dynamic. And Rebecca, I and many other people that I have shown some of your videos to do not feel comfortable watching you slowly decay. It is sad and we want to try to help you. Real help isn't putting a camera in front of your face. Real help is saying you need to get away from this. And until Rebecca is ready, there's nothing we can do. Putting a camera in Rebecca's face is not going to fix this. It's not going to help. As someone who has loved or lost a loved one almost 2 years ago to an accidental overdose, I would be infuriated if somebody videotaped them 34 times. And I know exactly what I would do. So, Mark, this is no longer holding a mirror up to society. This is the mirror being held up to you as an exploiter and someone who dehumanizes an undocumented trans woman who is homeless and on substances. This is your mirror.